Hi everyone, I am a mess right now. I'm rushing to make this video today while I have a moment. So yesterday after I made my video, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a great day, I feel better. Nope. As soon as I shut that video off, I walked downstairs to go get myself some food while my baby was napping, and I found out some information that just pushed me over the edge with my living situation right now. And I'm not going to tell you what the information was because the purpose of these videos is not to put other people on blast. It's to tell you how I respond to things and how I handle things and what goes through my mind. So the information just rocked me and I was so upset. My baby was napping, my husband was home, and I just looked at him and I was just like, I need to go for a drive. Do you want some food? And he was like, I'll just text you. Like, my husband's great support system. He knows when I'm not doing well and I need a minute. He understands. So I got in my car and I drove around, talking to my mom for about 30 minutes. When I first called her, because she knows about what was going on in regards to the information I was giving. So I called her and I was like hyperventilating by this point. By the time I called her, I was so upset. And she was just trying to calm me down, tell me to breathe. She was trying to talk me through it, give me options, help me be supportive and everything. And, while I was driving around, I ended up parking and everything in me would just wanted to go straight back to the house, pack up all my immediate things that I would need in the immediate future, grab my daughter, bless me, grab my daughter, and just drive 2 hours to my mom's and just stay there from now on and move out. And my husband can wrap up his stuff and grab our things and come when he's ready. I was very much ready just to bounce. So, I hadn't eaten lunch yet, and it was 1 o'clock by the time I got off the phone with my mom. I hadn't eaten at all, and it was 1 o'clock, and I was like, I need to eat. So, because I've learned, like I said yesterday, it's very important that I eat. It's very important for your body to eat no matter what's going on. However you are emotionally feeling or what's happening, you still need to make sure you get something in your system. So I got us some food. I came back. We went up to our room. My daughter had just woken up from her nap, so she didn't even know I was gone. And we're eating and talking about how I was telling him I just want to move. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I feel so stressed and anxious all the time, and I'm getting triggered constantly, and so he was like all for it because my husband's very supportive of my mental health. He was like, okay, let's, we can do that. But then we start talking about the logistics of it, start getting rational about it. And as my rational side of my brain started to kick back in, I was like, oh, I was in fight or flight mode. So for anyone that doesn't know what fight or flight mode is, please Google it. It's very, everyone at one point in their life, I'm sure, deals with it. And I cannot tell you how many times I've dealt with it. I've lived most of my life, with fight or flight mode. I'm very familiar with it. But the crazy thing is, when it gets triggered and I'm in the middle of my brain being in fight or flight mode, I don't notice it. It's like I don't even recognize it. My rational brain is MIA. I'm literally in the middle of just fight or flight. Like, okay, something's happening. What do I do to get away from it? Or what do I do to protect myself? So I was very much in flight mode yesterday, fight or flight. So I was like, okay, this is what's going on. This is what's triggering me. This is what's, harming me right now, mentally, not physically. It was my living situation. I need to get away. So that's why I was so like, okay, I need to leave. I need to leave. I need to leave. So once my fight or flight started to calm down and my rational brain started to come back, I was like, oh my goodness, like that was quite a rush. And I felt the rest of the day kind of in flight mode. Like I felt like any little thing that happened was going to set me off again. So I was very cautious the rest of the evening and night. I kept myself away from things that I thought might trigger me again. I was very calm. I didn't deal with anything that might have made it worse. My husband and I, you know, would watch funny videos on his phone just to kind of distract me and just kind of keep me calm, get my nervous system calm again. So I've had this happen to me before multiple times. I've gone into fight or flight mode. Now, and every single time when I'm in the middle of it, I don't know. I'm just in that mode. Like I'm not even thinking about being in that mode until after I'm out of it. And then I reflect back and I'm like, whoa. Like one time I wanted to move to another country when I went into fight or flight mode. I literally was like Googling where I could move to, how I would move, how I would transfer my career over to, a different country and all this stuff. And I mean, it's insane. Like it still blows my mind every time it happens. So like I said, if you ever think that you might have dealt with that or not sure, look it up. It's fight or flight syndrome, or I don't know what the proper, full term is, but um, I call it fight or flight mode. Anyways, so for me, I don't even recognize that I'm in it. So I just have to, I've learned to just not make impulsive decisions as a rule of thumb. No impulsive decisions, no impulsive acts of anything, like just, I always have a rule of thumb to at least sleep on it, something that comes up, because majority of the time those impulses are coming from a fight or flight mindset, but I don't recognize it in the moment. And it could be something tiny too. It doesn't even have to be like, oh, I need to move. It could be something smaller. I'm trying to think of an example, like I don't know. I can't think of an example right now, but yeah, so just if you're ever feeling like that, what I do is I just don't, rule of thumb, always never make any impulsive decisions. Because I tried to buy a condo one time when I felt like this. I tried to buy a new car one time, which I actually did. Brand new car. Impulsively, I bought it because I was, I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, I hadn't been diagnosed yet with bipolar disorder. It was the year that I got diagnosed. It was earlier that year. Something happened to my car and I wasn't doing great, and I was all over the place, and I was being very impulsive with things, and yeah, I went and got a car. So, which I still have to this day, thank God. I made it work, but yeah, so I was able to calm down and I'm feeling better today. And my husband and I, decided that the best thing to do right now is to stay where we're at and do work really hard towards getting into our own home. So, quick backstory on why my living situation is such a huge problem for me. because from the outside, I'm super blessed. I'm living with my in-laws. They're great. We have my husband and we have 2 bedrooms to ourselves for all of our stuff. Our baby's crib is in our room, and then the other room has his computer, the cat stuff, overflow things. They're right next to each other. We don't pay much in rent, and we have a roof over our head. There's no time limit on it. We get a lot of help with the baby. It's nice to be around family. They cook great Mexican food. It's amazing, but so it's like, why am I having such a hard time with it? And I've been asking myself that for months and trying to figure it out. And I have finally figured out why it bothers me so much, my living situation. So growing up, my parents divorced when I was 5, and I went back and forth my whole childhood. So, every couple of days, I had to go to either one's house. In the middle of the week, I would have to take an overnight bag on Tuesdays to school, along with my school bag, because I had to go to my dad's on Tuesday nights and spend the night. And then Wednesday, I would be with him until my mom got off work and she would pick me up. Every other weekend, I was at my dad's house. Summers, when we were in school, it was 1 week at my dad's, 1 week at my mom's. Holidays were shared, big holidays. I would, be at one person's house in the morning, the other person's house in the evening. There was an entire schedule. So, and then on top of that, when I was at my dad's, he liked to travel a lot. So we would go on day trips, weekend trips, RV trips. All kinds we were all over the place. So I was just all over all the time. And then, I also, my stepmom was emotionally abusive. My dad and stepmom both abused and still do marijuana all day, every day. So you can imagine, after decades of doing that, mess with their brains. And then my mom had her own issues, and then she also had issues, I'm not going to go into that, but she had her own problems, and she was struggling. And I have 2 brothers, and then she abused alcohol as well. So I had a very chaotic, stressful, all over the place childhood. That's the overview of it. There's so much more I could get into, but that's just kind of the biggest overview of it. So after I turned 19, I moved out of my hometown, and at 19, and have been on my own since. And every year or 2 years, from 19 till I was 26, I moved to different apartments, or there was a couple times where I had to live in someone's house for a couple weeks in between apartments. So I was constantly moving all over the place, just very unstable my whole life. Very chaotic, unstable, just a lot. So when I finally bought my house when I was 26, I was like, it was nice to have somewhere stable, where I could retreat, take care of myself when I needed to, a safe place for myself, so I can do the things that I need to do to take care of myself mentally when I'm not doing well. So then I had sold my house in December, and we've been here for 7 months now. When I agreed to move in, we were only going to be here for maybe 1-2 months, 3 tops, and then we were going to get our own place. Well, shit happens, life happens, and we are still here 7 months later, and we're not going to be out anytime soon. Well, and I also stay home with my daughter. So I'm a stay-at-home mom in someone else's house. So it's just a lot. And then there's a lot of things that have been triggering me. And I've learned over the years that I cannot control everyone around me. I can't be like, well, you're triggering me, so you need to stop doing this. It's not how it works. It's not their fault. They're triggering me. They're not doing it on purpose. It's not the situation's fault that it's triggering me. That's my problem. That's my issue. So I have to learn how to work around it. And what I've learned, the biggest thing for me that helps me is having a safe place to retreat to take care of myself, to get away from things that are triggering me, to get away from things that are giving me anxiety and making me not feel well, so I can, reset, take care of myself, do what I need to do to get myself back in check. So not having that has been so hard because I have been getting pregnant with my daughter brought up so much stuff from my childhood. Having my daughter has brought so much up from my childhood. Then moving in at the same time into my in-laws' house and being triggered constantly by things that are happening or they're doing. And it's not their fault. They're nice people. They're not doing it on purpose. No one's doing anything on purpose. It's just a situation. But there's nowhere for me to go. There's nowhere for me to retreat to take care of myself, to calm myself down. So I'm in this constant state of anxiety. So to me, it feels like I'm on unsteady ground. Like, there's an earthquake under me that won't stop. And, I keep falling down and I'm trying to get myself back up and get stable and get back up on my feet, but I can't. And to me, in order to get myself on stable ground where I can get back up on my feet is being in my own space. Now, in the house, I do have my own room, but I also have 6 months, she's almost 7 months actually, daughter. So I can't keep her locked up in our bedroom all day. It's not healthy for her and it's not healthy for me either. So it's just really difficult because I just feel constantly on edge. So even things that normally wouldn't set me off that bad, like tiny things, I'm extra sensitive and anxious. So little things are feeling bigger than they normally would. And I'm not having a chance to get myself back on stable ground, to set myself up to do better. So, over the years, especially after being diagnosed with my bipolar disorder and learning about it, I've learned that when I'm not doing well and I'm having trouble getting stable enough to even focus on anything again, like eating healthy, exercise, just life, I have to evaluate and see, okay, what's the biggest thing that's causing me to not do well? Currently, it is my living situation. In the past, it was my job. In the past, it's been living situations, people, things like that. So, I've left jobs, I've moved, I've, cut off certain people or just limited my interactions with them because at the end of the day, I need to take care of myself. So right now, I'm recognizing that the biggest thing that's keeping me on rocky ground is my living situation. So now that I've pinpointed that, that is what I'm focusing on. So right now, I'm not taking on my diet and exercise at the moment. I'll do little things that I can when I'm able to, but I'm not making that a priority. Right now, my priority is keeping myself away from triggers, keeping myself away from things that I know give me anxiety, and then making sure I'm eating and then trying to eat good when I can handle it, and then trying to do whatever my husband and I can to get ourselves into our own home. Because I know once that happens, I can get myself on steady ground again, and then I can start to what's the next thing that's, you know, making things hard for me mentally to be stable, which I know the next thing will be food and exercise. So that's what I've learned. I'm sure there's people that are probably like, no, if you focus on your food and exercise, you know, things will get better. But at the moment, it's like I can't even process that. It's like the thought of focusing on that, on my food, eating better and exercising, literally makes my brain just want to shut down. So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to focus on the biggest thing that's causing me the most anxiety and causing me the most problems. And I'm just going to focus on that. So that's that. Sorry the video was so long. I just had a lot to say. There's actually so much I want to tell everyone. There's so much I want to get off my chest. There's so many things I want to say, share with you guys and tell you guys. But one, I don't want these videos to be super long. They're already longer than I've been intending. So I'm just trying to share day to day what's on my mind and just be as open as I can. So please stay tuned, and I'm really hoping that what I'm sharing is helping others maybe not feel so alone, or you know, maybe something I do might help you. I don't know. All I know is that making these videos is actually way more therapeutic than I anticipated. I actually even though I'm under so much stress right now and anxiety, and I'm not doing super well mentally, I look forward to making these videos. It's like really therapeutic to talk about what's going on, what's happening, what's in my mind. So yeah, I'm just really looking forward to making more of these and sharing more, and I'm actually really excited for when I do start to get better and make more progress, because I want to share that with people and give people hope, that yeah, I'm having a really tough time right now, and I had a huge meltdown yesterday, but today's a new day, and I'm gonna do the best that I can to move forward and make each day better and improve as much as I can. I know that I started making these videos now, but if I had made these videos a couple years ago or even a year ago, I've learned so much. I'm constantly learning and constantly, seeing what works, what doesn't, what are my triggers, what are not, what works best for me. And, you really have to look within and just pay attention and just figure out what works for you. At the end of the day, that's what's important. Others can give you advice, but at the end of the day, you need to figure out what works for you. So that's that. And I am going to take a deep breath and just hopefully finish this day off good and get some stuff done, because I'm feeling energetic at the moment. So I'm going to take advantage and get some stuff done, because yesterday and the day before I didn't get anything done. I just kind of hid in my room. So I'm going to take advantage of feeling good at the moment and just move on. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow.